Welcome to South Central Regional Library's Safe Inside Your Walls programming, supported by Safe at Home Manitoba.
Hi, I'm Linda. I'm a librarian, and today I'm going to tell you a fable about a lion and a mouse. To make it easier for you to picture them, I'll start by telling you just a couple of things about the lion and the mouse and where they live. The lion in this story is an African lion. He's a strong, fierce animal from the cat family, and he has a mane of hair around his head, and he's a big cat. He's as big as a sofa. Now, lion lives on the savanna, where grasses grow as high as a refrigerator, and there are some bushes, but almost no trees. It's dry, and the grass and plants are usually kind of yellow, so it's easy for a lion to hide because he's also kind of yellow. Now, because lion is so fierce and strong, he's sometimes called the king of the animals, and in this fable, he's called king of the savanna. So every time I say lion, you can say king of the savanna with me. This is the sign for it. It's a little like a lion's mane. Let's try that. So when I say lion, king of the savanna, let me tell you about lion, king of the savanna. Right. Now there's also a mouse in this story. And obviously, mouse also lives in the savanna, and she's a particular kind of mouse, an African pygmy mouse. She's very small. An African pygmy mouse is only this big. Oops, that's including the tail. The mouse's body is only this big. She mostly goes out at night to look for her water and food, but sometimes she'll go out in the daytime as well. And in this story, when I say mouse, you can say with me, smallest mouse ever. Kind of like little mouse paws. So let's try that. So, once there was a mouse, smallest mouse ever. This story has a mouse, smallest mouse ever. Now, ready for the fable? Then let's start. So, once there was Lion, king of the savanna, king because he was the strongest and fiercest animal of all the savanna. He would plant his paws and he would shake his mane and he would roar just a little to remind anyone who could hear that he was Lion, king of the savanna, and he was fierce and strong. There was also Mouse, smallest mouse ever. She lived in the savanna too, smelling the smells, looking for food and water and all the things a mouse would like, running hurry scurry on little mouse feet. Mouse, smallest mouse ever, was afraid of Lion, king of the savanna, just like everyone else. One day, Lion, king of the savanna, was walking through the countryside when he saw the acacia tree. Lion, king of the savanna, was tired. The sun was hot and the shade of the acacia tree would be cool. So Lion, king of the savanna, planted his paws and shook his mane and roared just a little to remind everyone that he was Lion, king of the savanna, and he was fierce and strong. And then he lay down in the shade of the acacia tree to have a little nap. Then came Mouse, smallest mouse ever, scurrying and hurrying and scurrying. She was smelling the smells and looking for food and water and all the things a mouse would like. And the smells she was smelling were so interesting that for a moment Mouse, smallest mouse ever, didn't watch where she was going. And she got too close to the shade of the acacia tree and ran right over the paw of Lion, king of the savanna, with her tiny tickly mouse feet. Lion, king of the savanna, woke up and without even thinking about it, while he was still waking up, slapped his paw down over the tickle and trapped something. He opened his eyes and carefully lifted his paw to see what had woken him. Of course, he saw Mouse, smallest mouse ever. "What's this?" said Lion, king of the savanna. "It looks like, it smells like a snack." "Oh, no, please," said Mouse, smallest mouse ever. "What did you say?" said Lion, king of the savanna. "Please, "Please be kind and let me go," said Mouse, smallest mouse ever, "and then one day maybe I can do something kind to help you." Lion, king of the savannah, laughed. He laughed and he roared, and the savannah echoed with laughing. "You?" he finally said. "How could you ever help me? You are Mouse, smallest mouse ever. You are tiny, and I am Lion, king of the savannah, the strongest and fiercest of all the animals." He laughed again. "But I am not so hungry today, and you have made me laugh harder than I have for many days, so I will be kind. I will let you go." He lifted his paw, and Mouse, smallest mouse ever, said thank you, and hurried and scurried away. Lion, king of the savannah, laughed as he watched her leave, and then went back to his nap in the shade of the acacia tree. And Mouse, smallest mouse ever, had an amazing story to tell all her family when she came home that night. So a little time passed, and a little time more, and a little time more, and then one day Lion, king of the savannah, was walking through the countryside again. He stopped by the shade of the acacia tree and put down his paws, and he shook his mane, and he roared just a little to remind everyone that he was Lion, king of the savannah. And then he stopped, and he smelled the smells. There was a smell there that he didn't know. It didn't seem quite right, so Lion, king of the savannah, followed the smell that wasn't quite right, until he got a little too close to the shade of the acacia tree, and whoop! A big net fell on Lion, king of the savannah, and tangled him all up. And then hunters came out from where they were hiding, and they tied him up even more, and said things about "he'll look good in a zoo," and "tie him up tight, but be careful not to hurt him," and "we'll bring the truck for him at dawn." And then the hunters left. Lion, king of the savannah, tried to put down his paws, but he couldn't, because his legs were tied up. He tried to shake his mane, but he couldn't, because his head was caught in the net. He tried to roar, but he couldn't, not even just a little, because a rope held his mouth shut. And so Lion, king of the savannah, began to think very hard about how to get out of the net before the hunters came back at dawn, because it was already night, but he couldn't think of anything. And Lion, king of the savannah, was thinking so hard he almost didn't hear the hurry-scurry, hurry-scurry, hurry-scurry of little mouse feet as Mouse, smallest mouse ever, came past the acacia tree, smelling the smells, and looking for food and water and all the things a mouse wants. And as Mouse, smallest mouse ever, came past the acacia tree, smelling the smells, she smelled something wrong too. So carefully she came over, and she saw a Lion, king of the savannah, tied up and trapped in a net. "Oh, poor thing," she said. "Oh, poor Lion, king of the savannah." And Lion, king of the savannah, tried to say he wasn't poor, he was the strongest and fiercest of them all, but he couldn't because of the ropes. And then he felt the tickle of little mouse feet and heard a little voice calling all her friends, and suddenly Mouse, smallest mouse ever, and all her family surrounded Lion, king of the savannah, and they started to bite. But they didn't bite Lion, king of the savannah. Oh no, they bit the ropes and the net. They began to chew and gnaw and bite into the ropes. And for a while nothing happened. But then the rope around his head snapped, and Lion, king of the savannah, could open his mouth and roar again. But he didn't roar, because he didn't want to frighten Mouse, smallest mouse ever, and all her family. And then the net around his head came loose, and he could shake his mane again. But he didn't shake his mane, because he didn't want to shake off Mouse, smallest mouse ever, and all her family. And one by one the mice chewed through the ropes, and finally, just before dawn, Lion, king of the savannah, was free. He stood up very carefully, and the mice all ran away, except for Mouse, smallest mouse ever. She stayed. Lion, king of the savannah, said, "Thank you for saving my life." Mouse, smallest mouse ever, said, "Thank you for saving my life." Lion, king of the savannah, said, "I laughed at you before because I never expected someone as small as you could do anything to help someone as big as me. I was wrong." And Mouse, smallest mouse ever, nodded slowly, and then hurry scurried away, looking for food and water and other things that mice want. And Lion, king of the savannah, planted his paws and shook his mane and roared just a little, and both of them thought at that time, an act of kindness, no matter how small, is never a waste of time.
Thanks for joining us for this Safe at Home Manitoba program. Stay safe inside your walls.